You might have seen many professionals using different types of mask nodes in their projects, with the help of which they create such cool effects or animation that you can't even think of, whereas you only know the basic ones. Well, guess what? In this video, you'll learn all of that. So welcome back guys to Fusion Studios, and today we'll learn about mask nodes. To learn about different types of masks, we first need to know what is a mask. So a mask is basically a cutout. You have two options. Either you can create your own with the help of mask nodes, or you can take a cutout from an image with the help of again mask nodes. So because you now know what a mask node is, let's move on to where you can find all these. And for that, we first have to come to Fusion page. Then you need to go to Effects panel. We will choose Tools, and in Tools, you need to come to Mask. So again, Effects, Tools, and Mask. And here you can see you have all 9 masks. Yeah, these are the total number of masks which are present in Fusion. Well, we'll start with the Ellipse Mask. So what to wait for? Let's get started. Now, there are a bunch of ways which you can add mask nodes in the node graph. First is, of course, your default toolbar. If you don't have set it to default, so right click over here and choose default. Over here in this section, okay, after the third divider, you can say this is the first section, second, third, and fourth. In your fourth section, you have mask nodes, and the circle one is the ellipse one. Just drag it and put it over here. You can do that, or you can even again come to Effects, Tools, and choose ellipse from here. Or what you can do is right click, add tool, again come to mask and choose that. Or you can type Shift plus spacebar and the select tool will pop up. Now from this menu you can select, you can type ELP, which is short form from ellipse. And if you want to add this to an image, just right click on whatever that is, right click, effect mask, there will be a option for it. Okay, choose effect mask and you can choose any of the mask node if you want to add. Now you know how to add mask in all the ways which are present in Fusion. Let's talk about ellipse node. As the name says, ellipse, which is closed curve which surrounds two focal points, this was a mathematical definition, is used for masking around objects, or you can create your own ellipsoidal shapes with it. Like at the mask nodes, it has a single output which is of effect mask, which means we can mask this mask with other masks, or we can combine this mask with other mask. Lots of cool things, right? Now, the parameter of any tool of Fusion is available in the inspector. Now let's cover each of them really quickly. There are 3 tabs in this tool setting. By tool, I mean the node, and by setting, I mean all this, the parameters basically. So you can see there are 3 tabs: controls, image, and settings. Let's talk about control first. In the control tabs, you can refine the ellipse. So the first one is show view controls. If this is checked, you can change the size, location, rotation, parameters. Then with level, you can reduce or increase its opacity. This affects transparency. Then we have the filter setting, which affects only when soft edge is applied. So let me increase the soft edge for you. And soft edge is basically the feathering or blur, whatever you want to call it. Now in filter, you can see there are many options. To keep it simple, you can say box is worst, Gaussian is the best. But now you don't need to worry or know about any of it because they have introduced new filter, which is fast Gaussian, which is applied by default. And this is the best. But again, if I were to show you, if I choose box, you can see the blur amount has been reduced and it's showing me sort of a box shape, which is not that good. Barlet, multi-box, Gaussian, and fast Gaussian. So that's it. No need to worry about build anymore. By the way, keep in mind all these apply to other masks too. So same explanation goes with every other mask, same parameter. And now we have border width. It controls the thickness of mask edges. It's very useful to create only border parts when used with solid. Solid is basically the fill of an object. And then you have center X and Y values, which changes the location of the mask. So if I were to change X, it will change it in horizontally. And if I change Y, it will change it vertically. Width and height is used to manipulate the mask size, and lastly angle is for rotation. One more thing, when you will uncheck the solid and increase the border width, you will have few more options such as cap style, position, and length. So what are these? Length is basically how long you want your border width, border edge to be. It will change the length of it. Position will change where you want this to be, and cap style will change the caps of your border. That's it for the controls tab. Image tab is for changing the resolution, and settings tab is for motion blur. Other than that, you won't be using anything. And also, we have every common setting for each mask. Again saying, all the settings which I just explained will work same in every other node. So now, we'll just see the unique setting of each mask nodes, meaning the speciality or USP of that node. So we are done with the ellipse mask node. Let's come to rectangle mask node. You can bring it to the new graph again via default toolbar or by clicking shift plus space bar, and with the help of the select tool pop up, that will be the easier way. Now rectangle and ellipse have same controls except one setting, which is corner radius. It rounds the corners. That's it. Every other setting is same. After that, let's see the triangular node. So I'll click shift plus space bar, triangle, and put over here, and let's view it into the viewer. Here you can see settings are similar to rectangle. It has no center, size, or angle control. Its USP is that you can attach 3 sides to a tracker or a motion part and make some cool animations. Well, after this comes the bitmap. So again, I'll do shift plus space bar and type bitmap, and here we have this node. And bitmap, very useful and powerful node, which I use a lot in my comps. It basically takes cutouts from image based on their colors, alpha, hue, saturation, luminance, and auxiliary coverage channels, normals, and all that. Now, you may see some similar settings here too, very likely to others, but it also has its own set of unique settings like fit in. We need to use this to select how the image source is treated. If it does not fit the dimensions of the generated mask, what does that mean? Let me explain. Basically, when the source image, the connected one, which you will connect into this yellow input, is smaller or larger, these options helps to fit it on X or Y or width or height dimensions. That's it. Now I put an image over here, which is this one, and as you can see, the resolution is smaller, which is 600 by 412. If I were to connect this to a bitmap, you can see some things are changed. The resolution is first of all as it is. Why? That is because by default, your bitmap image settings output size is set to source, which means whatever the source size is, it will be as it is. If you were to change your default, now you can see the settings has been changed, and now it is just masking this much input. Why is that? Because the resolution of this image is 600 by 412, which is really small as compared to 1920 by 1080. So it comes over here. This is the full size of the image in this dimension. So to change it, we can either go to image and choose source, or if you were to fill it, then we will use this fit input options. Now you can see the fit input, the crop will keep it as it is, which is default. If I were to change it to stretch will fill the canvas, but stretch X or Y coordinate. Inside will scale uniformly until one of its dimensions fits inside dimensions of the bitmap mask. Outside will scale uniformly until one of its dimension fits outside the dimensions of mask. Width will fill the width and height will fit the height, which is similar to inside and outside. The next setting is channel, and your default version will be alpha, but I have set it to luminance. And based on the luminance value over here, which means the darker and the brighter parts, will make a mask. Channel will basically help take out a certain image channel, which can be red, green, blue, alpha, hue, saturation, luminance, or auxiliary coverage channels if provided in the image, which is not provided over here. And if you want to see the image which are provided in the image, you can come over here into the viewer, and these are all the channels which are provided over here, which is color, RGB, and alpha. Then we have threshold, which can be used to manipulate low, darker, high, brighter parts of the images. Then we have a setting which is very unique. If we have a 3D scene, multiple objects, like we have over here, we have one cylinder and we have one cube. I just made it right now. We can sample them out, and that too with the help of their respective material or object IDs. How? By taking the render output and putting it into the yellow input like that. Now going to render 3D and going to out channels and enable object and material ID. And now to know which object ID is which, the material ID will be same because they both are using same material, which is this cooked torrent. So material ID is 2. Okay, so we can sample them out with their object ID. So if I go to shape 3D 1, and here you can see in controls tab, you have object ID which is 2, and over here the object ID is 3. So now if I come to bitmap, and here because my channels is set to luminance, that's why it's choosing this. This is source. Now, for example, if I just wanted a cylinder, what I would do is I would enable this use object, and now you can see both of them are gone. Now I'll enable dual viewer and choose the render output into the first one and put the bitmap in the second one. And with the help of this sample, I just need to hold it and drag it to whichever I want. You can see its object ID is 3, its object ID is 2. See how simple it is. Now you can do whatever compositing you want to do with it. For example, if I add an S glow over here, okay, just like that, this into the input, and then take it and put it over here with the help of this merge, you can see what is happening once we put the bitmap output to over here. Now we are just glowing the cylinder, and that's all possible with the help of bitmap mask node. We have masked it out. See how simple it is. And that's it for the bitmap. Now let's talk about MaskPaint. The shift the space bar and choose MaskPaint. The short form is PNM. Now as the name says, you can paint a mask yourself with a paintbrush. I'll type here. Oh, sorry. By the way, I'm not typing. I am painting it. That's right. Oh, and now it has been painted, right? Now what I'll do is I will go into, for example, I'll take the image back again, this one, and now I will mask this with this MaskPaint. Let's see the output, and you can see it works, right? Now what I think is the most crazy part, it's not this, it is that you can mask using images. They just need to be transparent. So for example, they just come back to MaskPaint and go here in brush controls, and here you can see we have different brush shapes. We are using this one, which is soft. We can even use circular one, okay, which is hard. I'll type here like to, or I can type like and subscribe. You can even do this, which is pixel masking. All right, you can even make a square if I increase the size of it. See, you can even do this, or what's more crazy is you can add images. You see, this is the image part of it. So click on it, and now you have three options: tool, clip, and brush. Now brush is the default one, which means that these comes with DaVinci automatically. In the brush control, choose image, and the first one is ball metal, which means it even shows the image over here, and if I increase the size of it, it should increase the size of it as well. See, we have this ball metal over here, and it will mask it out just like that. Let's choose bomb. It all, by the way, comes with DaVinci Resolve automatically. All right, so yeah, just in case if you don't know about it, we even have bubble, just like that. You have a bullet, you even have some fish. All right, you have flakes, seagull, leaf. There are many. You just need to play with it. Another leaf, a smiley. Okay, so because it's not transparent, that's why it's not added those its eyes and mouth. Even have a star. See, now the star is also not transparent, that's why it just added this rectangular mask. And you even have a soul, and this is also not masked, so that's why just added it as it is. So in case you just need the object itself, so you also need to have its transparency values. Okay, and now if I view this, you can see it worked. It has masked it in the shape of the images which we chose over here. If you want to select something else, you can come to tool, and you can for example choose any polygon and put it over here. If you were to go to clip, now you can use your own clip, browse it from your drive and put it over here. Just make sure that it should be transparent. That's it. This is just a 10% of it. Mask node, polygon node, these are the node which requires a whole set of videos dedicated to them to show what's possible and what's not. For now, just understand it as a simple paint, which gives you a paintbrush which you can use to mask out. Controls tab have all the settings which a simple paint node has. Mask tab has similar settings for the mask as others. Images again for same, and settings is to enable or disable the GPU use. Alright, now we are done with it. Let's talk about ranges. So I'll again do shift plus spacebar, type ranges, RNG short form, and boom, you have ranges over here. Now let me just put image into it, and you can see some things has happened. It's very similar to Bitmap, but it doesn't just decide based on simple luminance based mask from a given channel. Instead, it offers spline which you can mess with and get low ranges, high ranges, and even mid ranges, which is just like color corrector. If I come over here, you can change these splines, and these are smooth. That's why you can as precise as you want and get whatever you want. I just wanted high ranges, I will do something like that. All right, and this was for shadows. You can go for midtones, highlights, and you can even change the channel if you want. You can change alpha, red, green, blue, so whatever you want. And rest of the settings are same as that. That's it for the ranges. Now we will see wand mask. So now if I come here and type wand, enter, well, what is this? All these settings are similar to previous ones. Again, if I select our image and put it into the wand, boom, something has happened, and it's so pixelated and so bad. Let me explain what is happening over here. It automatically creates a mask by examining the pixels beneath the crosshair. This is the crosshair. If I move it, you can see what is happening, and it adds color to the mask. The mask then expands to examine the pixels surrounding the selection point. Surrounding pixels are masked if they are same color. Then mask stops when no same color pixels are found. You have different channel outputs, you have different color spaces, range, hand range, soft edge slider, which will affect how much range and how much you want to soft it, all that. And this is a mask, you can use it. That's it. If I were to take it from here and let me just put it onto this, see, you can do all this with the help of one mask. Let's do one thing. Let me just come to 0 frame, add a keyframe on selection point, then put it over here, just like that. By the way, Kevin art is very funny. Let me play now. Oh, I forgot to add a keyframe over there. Yeah, just like that. And in the starting, we need to change the keyframe over here. Let's play. It looks so cool. It's all done with this wand node. Okay, now this was just an example. You can do much more than this, of course, with all these settings, and with range and range soft edge, it's just up to you, whatever you want to do. And now comes that mask node, which is the best of the best, most used, my favorite, people's favorite, a media out node. Just kidding. It's Polygon node. Yes, it is the most used mask node in Fusion by all the Fusioners or Fusionists, whatever you want to call them. Let me remove this and bring in Polygon. Now, Polygon is used to make irregular polygon shapes. So let me make a polyline. You make a polyline by clicking onto the viewer. It automatically adds these points onto your viewer. So let me just make one image real quick, just like that. See, and now I'm making this polygon, and to close it, what I will do is click on this one, and you can even see this little circle appears. That's for closing it. Or you can come over here and choose close the polyline with Shift O, just like that. Each of these are connected. This auto animates too, so add it wherever. We added it on frame number 46 or 47, and you can see and right click here for shape animation, it automatically added a keyframe. And now if I come to frame number 0 and maybe bring it, select this one, bring it over here, select this one over here, select this one, bring it over here, and now if I'll play, you can see the shape animates. Okay, that's all done because of the right click for shape animation. It happens due to the interpolation which happens between two different keyframes, or you can say two defined shapes. Okay, one shape we created over here with the same points, and one shape we created over here with again same points. In the controls tab, we'll see a lot of similar settings. Now exception are these: rotation X, Y, and Z. If I rotate on X, will be on X axis, Y will be on Y axis, Z is on Z axis. So it basically rotates on basis of 3 axes. Okay, it's 3D, you can sort of say that. This fill method is used to solve problems of overlapping, like holes appearing. To solve it, changing from alternate to non-zero winding. If I were to show you one just now, so I'll click over here, delete all these, and let me just make something like this, which is an basically shape of 8, you can say. Now you see this hole over here. If I change it from alternate to non-zero winding, boom, it's gone. This is the work of fill method. You can remove it. Right click for shape animation is of course what I was talking about earlier. When you right click, it gives you a lot of options. Play with adding or removing points is very simple to do due to the polygon toolbar. You can increase or decrease the size of it with control and middle mouse. If I hover it just like this, I am just increase it so it will be like this. You have a lot of different options. This is click append, this is draw append, insert and modify, modify only, done, close the polyline, smooth, linear, select all points, show key points, show all handles, shape box, delete points, reduce points, publish menu, make points, follow nearby points, double polyline, multi-frame menu, onion scanning, and even photo assist. Now all of these I'll explain later in detail. Now this is basic of Polygon. Now comes B-spline. This is just a side to the Polygon. Now let me just click over here, and you might be wondering what's the difference. B-spline is also similar to Polygon and everything except that it is smoother version of Polygon. Basically it averages out the points. Polygon uses a Bezier spline which deploys a central and manage it using 2 curve handles. Okay, like you can see over here, this is the one and this is the one. All right, whereas B-spline uses single point. Okay, so let me just create a simple B-spline shape. Let me create an egg with it. You can say this is some sort of egg shape. Okay, this is an egg. Now you might be wondering, if I wanted to, adjust the tension onto this, so how will you do it? Well, that's done if you hold W and then click on it and drag this. With W, you can create more tension onto any of the point. And that's it for all of these mask nodes. Again, as I told you, there are a total of 9 mask nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are all the mask nodes in Fusion, and we discussed all of them, at least the basics of them, which you can now use in your next project. Now let's talk about some polyline types. Okay, so Bezier polylines, these are the shapes composed of central, control point, and handles. Now you can smooth them out if you can select all and hit Shift S. You can see it has been smoothed out. If you want to make them linear again, Control L. So Shift S or Shift L or Control S. Now if you want to change its handles, you would do something like that. But what if you just want to change this handle and not that one? Well, that is done with the help of control. If you hold control and move it, now you can change this just like that. It creates this really cool sort of not animation effect, which you can use later. I don't know what we are creating, by the way, over here. What type of fish is this? The next one is B-spline, which is of course used in B-spline. It excels at creating smooth splines, no curve handles. And now what's special in both of these is, if I were to choose this polygon just like that, right click, go to polyline, and now what I can do is I can change the Bezier to B-spline, and now it's set to B-spline just like that. You see, and I even have the shape as it is. And not just Bezier to B-spline, you can even come to B-spline just like this, right click, polyline, and go B-spline to Bezier. And now it's like this. See? So you have both these flexibilities. Now you can go to Polyline and convert Bezier to B-spline, and now you can select all, right click and go to Polyline and convert B-spline to Bezier. And now you can go to again select all, you can do all this, and now it has just increased the points and just increase the points, and that is it. Now you can use all of your mask nodes, okay, and you can combine multiple masks to make a compound mask. Let me show you what I mean by that. So for example, if I choose this ellipse and do reset everything, okay, and if I take this rectangle and put it after this ellipse, so let me take the output of it, the mask, and if I show it right now and if I increase its width, something like that, now you can see that it has done some changes. What kind of changes? Well, it has put it on top of it, okay, it has basically merged it. And now one more setting enables in this rectangle or any of the mask, it enables automatically when you add it after a mask, which is the paint mode parameter in the inspector tab. Paint mode parameter have different options, okay, which you can choose to affect how this mask will affect the previous mask. Right now it's just merging on top, right? If I change it from merge to subtract, it will subtract. So wherever this mask will be, it will subtract it basically. Okay, just like that. Subtract will subtract, add will add, minimum will compare the input, which is this, to the new one, which is this one, okay, and display the lowest one, whichever is the lowest one. This is the lowest one, it will input this. If I increase this and do this, maximum will do the same, compare the input and new will and display the highest, okay. Average will do the average of new and input. Multiply will multiply the input with new and whatever comes in, it's the result. Invert will of course invert it just like that. Wherever this mask will go, it will invert it. Replace will choose the new input, okay, replace, it will replace the new input basically just like that. Copy will show the new one, ignore will show the input one, just like that. So you can mess with it and get something which you want. So yeah, that's about it. You can create, by the way, really cool shapes with it, so keep that in mind too. Then let's come back to Polyline. Okay, let me come back to this Polyline polygon, and over here in the Polyline, if I want to do some more changes, so basically we are talking about the selection now. So select, if I selected this, now I also want to select this one. I will hold shift and select this too. Now these were already selected and this is selected. It has selected the range of it, basically this, and if I select this, it will select all of it, whichever comes in the way. Now I just want to select this and this, so I'll hold control and I can select single ones or whatever comes in the box. And with control A or shift A, I will say you can select all points, okay. Once a control point is selected, use page up or down to choose nearby points, okay. It's very handy, by the way, to do it this way instead of just selecting this, then going here, then selecting this, then going here. Just choose page up or down, that's it. If I just want to move it over a little bit here onto the right, but just on this axis, just on x-axis, so for that I'll hold shift and then move it in x-axis, and you can see it's logged. Same goes with y-axis, select and move it in y upward direction or downward direction, it's logged. Now this is just the basics. You can even transform all of this. This is something very new which people I think don't know most. Okay, so how do you transform these polyline points? You can transform it with various keys, as we did over here in B-spline with selecting W and dragging the mouse. You can even come over here. I'll just I want to undo it. Yeah, so something like this. I want to make it back. If I come back to the polygon, if I, for example, select all, okay, I want to twist it. So one option would be changing the Z rotation. If I don't want to do that, I want to twist it onto this. So I'll hold T, and wherever I put my cursor to, that will be the pivot point. So if I put over here and hold T and select all, hold T and drag to twist. See what is happening? Now you can drag as much as you want and twist it. If I put my cursor over here, hold T and twist it, it will be twisting over here. I just select this one, hold T to twist it, it will be twisting it. T, let me just put it over here and twist, just like that. So the fish is moving its tail, so something like that. T. Now if I hold S and put my cursor, for example, over here and drag the drag the left mouse, select the mouse, it will increase or decrease the scale. Okay, again, wherever the cursor is, the pivot point will be there, so keep keep that in mind. If I select X, that will scale it just horizontally. If I select Y, that will scale it just vertically. If I select O, that will affect the points perpendicular to the tangent. Okay, so basically if I come over here and select O, you can see what is happening, right? So that's why it's affecting it in a perpendicular motion from its tangent. If you select these two, its tangent will be somewhere around here, so it's affecting it that way. So these are all the keyframes. Okay, and guess what? You completed the Mask Node Masterclass. Or instead, I should say, Mask Nodes has been explained. Congrats. And don't forget the shortcuts. But you will? Well, don't worry, because all the shortcuts and important nodes has been put in the description. Go and grab it real quick. It's for you only. If it asks for a password, then it will be Fusion Studios and everything will be caps. And now you can like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and share as much as possible with your friends and family. I actually have some Fusion comms for you to explore, and also a Discord server to connect smart and beautiful people like you from all over the world, helping out each other and growing together. They're present in the description box as links, so go and join right now. What are you waiting for? Now, more Nodes Explained videos are in queue, so be prepared and be passionate about learning and growing. I'll be back real soon. Till then, enjoy.